Today, we're going to be talking about a knife concept and how you can use this to attack certain coverages and certain coverages to watch out for when you've got this knife concept dialed up right here. Alright, today we're going to be talking about a knife concept, okay? Knife is a 3-receiver concept with the number 1 running a 5 yards and then an in, and he'll kind of slow play this a little bit. I'll go over that here in a second. Number 2 is running a 5 yards and also running an in right there. And then number 3 is running up to about 10 yards and breaking his route up at a 45-degree angle about, right? I've heard it called a couple of different things. If this guy's on a corner, I've heard it called China. I've heard it called a couple of different things, but right now we're just going to call this knife right here, okay? Now, reading this out against the defense, right? The concept of this play is really to get some type of a high-low on whoever this inside defender is with this number 3 and number 2 receiver right here, okay? If we're saying that all these guys are off, we're hoping to get some type of a high-low with that Y and the H on whoever that guy inside that number 3 receiver is right here, okay? So here's kind of the progression that we want, right? We're hoping to get these safeties kind of out of the picture and cut this off to cross face so that these guys are not able to influence and jump this this skinny post right here, okay? The read for this is, like I said, off of this this inside linebacker right here, whoever is going to be, if he's going to be carrying with this depth to get to this this post right here, we're going to go ahead and hit this under right here underneath. If he's going to, if this will or backer type is going to stay underneath for this under right here, we're going to go over the top and hit that Y right over him right there as well, okay? Now, where this number 1 comes into play right here, okay? Let's say that this will or backer type is going to carry with this guy right here. Had something like this. And this nickel type or whoever this guy is underneath is also going to carry with this number 2 receiver right here, okay? So if we get something like this, in this case, that's where our number 1 comes into play, right? This guy cannot be too fast, right? Because this is going to be the 3rd read on the play, right? Quarterback's going to be looking at the number 3 to number 2, and only once he sees this nickel or whoever this guy is start to carry with that number 2 receiver, that's when we want to go outside of that number 1, and we need that number 1 to win on that corner. But also, we need that guy to not come too fast because, as you can see, it's a fast-developing play. And if this guy is to run the same way that this Underwood right here, this quarterback's not going to have a lot of time or enough space to be able to get that to the number 1 receiver. You see it a lot in the NFL, actually. You see this guy kind of round this off and not have great spacing out of this number 2 and number 1 receiver on this concept. But that is the read and what we're trying to do, right? If both of these guys squeeze down, we want to come outside of this number 1 right here, hit that guy underneath, and that guy needs to win, like I said, on that corner. And that's the read and how we're going to be wanting to attack with this knife concept right here. A couple of coverages to watch out for when you're going with this knife concept right here. The first is what I call stubby, which is a quarters variation, really like match quarters, right? Where these guys are matching the route distribution very hard, playing it almost like man-to-man once they hit a certain depth. If this safety is in position to be able to drive on this number 3 and he's not going to be able to cross-face, your receiver's not going to be able to cross-face on the safety, that then becomes a pretty sketchy concept because you got this inside backer right here, you got this outside backer waiting for this under right here, and you got this corner who doesn't have any responsibility, even if he's off, ready to drive on this number 1, and if we're playing stubby, he'd actually be man-to-man on this number 1. So I don't love it against match quarters. What I do love it against is like your zones, your cover 3 zones, your cover 2 zones, even your quarter zones, as long as this safety is not in position to drive on this number 3 receiver. That's when we're going to get some type of a high-low on this inside backer. And that's really what we're trying to do, right? We're trying to get some type of a stretch on that inside backer, just like most concepts. We want to put one guy in stress, right? So I do like it against those softer zones. I don't love it against match coverages. Man-to-man really becomes a battle of your number 2 and 3 receivers most likely. With this guy being inside leverage, this is going to be gone. You're hoping that your under is going to win, your quick post is going to win, and you just got to watch out for any inside rat in a cover 1 scenario. But that's kind of how you're going to be reading knife. I do love the concept. It's actually one of my favorite 3-man concepts to call in Madden. You'll see that every now and then. But yeah, so that's the knife concept, how you can read that out against a couple of different coverages, and how you can use that to attack certain defenses.